What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, Leanne. I'm getting blissed out with my Shedding into Soul Culture podcast number 20. Just came back adored in my dress of my Shiva Lingam Puja, my blessing from my puja, and I highly recommend everybody try this meditation. Um, and I'm here with a really, really beautiful neighbor, friend, and now soul sister, Bao, my neighbor. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. This is
Hi.
my first time ever being on anything, so a little bit nervous.
It's so funny. Like we can make Zoom calls for work, but we can't record them, like thinking that it's like podcast, right? So
Hmm.
here's the illusion of that. It's like we just need to be organic and be aware while we're recording that what you feel about your presentation and don't overthink it. Right now it's just all happening for us to get more content and more information about this wonderful 8-week program that we just had a chance to go through together to help and serve more people. So maybe Belle, you can open up how you feel
Uh,
about how we got this all started.
yeah, so I was going through a really tough time. Like Leanne's lived across the street. I don't know how many years you've been there.
6 years.
6 years, yeah. And so in 2020, started talking. Since 2020, we were like, oh, we need to do meditation together. We need to do meditation together. And I have had, I think, since last September, I have a son who's special needs, and he's been going through a really rough time. And December, January, February was really bad, like rock bottom, and just with health stuff. And Leanne literally knocked on my door and said, "I heard you," and I was terrified. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she heard me yelling at my kids." Like she was, and I'll never forget this. I tell everybody. She said, "I didn't hear you. I heard you. What's going on?" And she stepped into my house, and I brought her in, and we went through like what's happening and just how I'm feeling, and I never been so low in my life. I've gone through a lot with my son, but this was the lowest of all lows, and I don't ever want to go there again. I don't ever want to see him like there again.
Mm.
And so she came in and she sat for a while, and then she told me about this program, and it took me a while, whatever. And then a few weeks into it, I'm like, you know what? Yes, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to know what this is all about. As you had told me a little bit, and it was like it was amazing. It was the best thing from the first like the way I feel now and the way I run through the day. I think about Leanne all the time. I think about even the breathing, the meditation, and it's a little bit different. It's very, some of the meditation was a little bit different. um, so it's not, and I'm not new to the flow of yoga and stuff because I've done stuff before. I listened to Dr. Joe Dispenza, but spending that 2.5 to 3 hours every Monday, I miss it. It was Monday, missed it, right? Because I set free of everything in my house, and I went to her, and she goes through everything. She's so knowledgeable, knows everything, all these words. And then when she tells me about, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and I'm just like, what? How does she know about all these things? She knows obviously way more than I do, but just listen to it. So that is how we met. And when I'm like, yeah, week one, I think we didn't even get to the yoga part. I think we went through a lot of stuff and then we went to the park to do the actual yoga.
Yeah, so we did
And
the yoga, but then we did the meditation in the park following just because
yes,
there's a lot of information and also
yes,
holding
on the first.
space for we did Reiki that first week.
Yes, he did
I
Reiki
did
the
a
first
Reiki
class,
treatment, yeah.
correct. And it was amazing. And then we went to the park to do our yoga. And the first part,
Dynamic meditation.
yeah, it was different. And and then you're like fighting and it was different, but I did it. Probably not to the excitement of Leanne because it takes time to get used to that. And so no, it was great. And I have to remember some of the other ones, like even the humming for a whole 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And doing I think the dancing part I did on my own.
You
No,
found your
it
inner
was.
dancer.
Yes. And then just learning about the chakras and everything. And in the one where you're like just moving and you could feel everything from inside going all the way to the bottom to the top.
Mm.
I can't remember all the weeks. I need to go back and refresh and read and read and read to learn. But that's how we met, and that's how I started. And let me tell you, I do the breathing. I even got a bracelet that says just breathe.
Mm. So good. Yeah. So audience, during the 8 weeks, and as I continue to talk with people that take this course and all the other courses that are going to come from this, it's just deepening, it deepens the wholeness of what yoga does. And then the dynamic methods that Master Osho had designed were for the modern person who would be in a state that you're in. And actually, they were tools that helped me as being a single mother that were very transformative for a very spiritual being as myself, having a divine awakening at age 19. So, having these chances to have all facets of myself, but knowing that inner calling and that inner, those inner gifts and these wisdoms are the foundation of how we can observe the mind and have a healthy mind through the worst times in life, or even just through the joy of life. Because it's really, you need like all these methods really show up in the worst times of life because we need something.
Mhm.
And we need to transcend from the pain and suffering of our mind, or the traumas, or suicidal thoughts, or the darkness that can get really, really dark when we see children suffer that we love, family members that pass away, or whatever may be the trauma, right? So, because I've been so nourished for 30 years on my path, first of all, with divine awakening at age 19, and then finding my way through even the darkness through that awakening because of being with right or wrong people, methods were my sanity versus drugs. And, a big reason why I can hear, or the psychic attunement, when I said I came and I heard you, is because of that daily work for 30 years, that I can actually hear things or see things on a more receptive, sensitive level, like we did in the first week when you smelled the flowers after meditation.
Yeah, yeah, yes, that's right. I was like, went to the park and then you did the breathing meditation. And I remember I had to walk back to get a towel or something. And then the smell of the flowers was like, oh my God, I can smell that. It was, is, yes. I remember, where else did I go when I was with my cousin's wife? And I'm like, you smell that? She's like, what are you talking about? I go, don't you smell? Like, and then she, no, it's because I had done it in the morning before going for the walk. It's that 1 hour that you spend, or even just the half an hour of the humming and the different breathings or the dancing or chanting, whatever it is, it just really clears your mind. And when you take it with you on the daily on a daily basis, even if you spend 10, 15 minutes of a different type. And now, like literally last night, I have the Om vibration on and I set a timer for 30 minutes so I can fall asleep to it. I love that sound.
Mm.
And so that vibration.
And it's so
So,
funny. My mom's using that same thing. She called me. She's like, she's got Parkinson's. She's in
mhm.
bed since the last 6 years. And she started asking me about Om recently. And I just feel so honored that the yoga lineage that offered changes in my life at such a young age. Same with Punjabi, ek omkar, ek omkar. So God is one, truth is one. And in there we have the Trinity of God with the three, right? And then that dot at the top of the Om is the silence, the shunya that we're actually receiving by doing the breath work, by doing the yoga asanas, by doing the dynamic works that Master Osho had also designed in those 8 classes. It's pretty remarkable. But having those 8 weeks to talk about your chakras. So like, it was kind of interesting watching you, first of all, audience, because when you get to be a teacher of this and then you watch those subtle moments where, you know, the person in front of you that you're mirroring starts to feel flow through her chakras. And that
yeah, that
subtle
was
movement
amazing. Yeah, that it was, it's such an amazing feeling too. Yeah.
of your Kundalini. And those were our Pitta and Ingala nadis moving through the chakras and finding their way through the body, which, if we're not silent and receptive or still, we won't feel the bliss body, and how those lower chakras actually rise energy into such a miraculous journey, like a headstand, you did in the
Oh
seventh
yeah,
week.
how we did the headstand. I did it. I did the first time. I really tried the second or third, but
And see, that's the beautiful thing. And overcoming the mind, even with doing yoga and doing asanas in 8 weeks in a row, the body parts, you'll reach in that part of your body, like, oh, I'm feeling this part of my body is connected to this chakra. If I
mm,
hold my body this way, it's connected to the chakra. If I open my heart and I breathe, I release that tension. And it's amazing, when you're in a chronic state or a stress state or a traumatic state, these
it was
tools really help you.
yeah. And we have ups and downs with my son, but I learned from the things that you've taught me about the breathing and just the positivity and the thoughts and the different and take the good. It's just you're with me every day when
Oh,
I'm going through my day. When I get to think, and I listen to a lot of other stuff. I listen to other meditations and I look at your stuff and there's a lot of praying and a lot of like with the divine, right? You have to believe in faith. You have to have faith. There has to be something out there to get you through. But I mean, I've recommended this to my sister. I have told my cousin, everybody needs to go. I think Leanne needs to do like a big class with a groups of people doing it. Like honest to
yeah.
God.
I was looking at a
Yeah.
location the other day too, so God bless you.
Mm.
I do, and I'm allowing myself to transcend that because I don't want to be greedy with tools. I really feel like, see, the thing is when we get good gifts or we recognize tools that can actually transform it, we're supposed to share them, and can you imagine if I didn't hear you, if I didn't feel
What
you, like
happened?
you could
Yeah.
smell the flowers, I could
Mhm.
hear you, I could feel you, and I didn't
Mhm.
want to ignore you. And I think that's another thing about being a teacher or a loving, compassionate being. If you're going to practice it, it actually just you work with the divine in such a way things just happen. So I just want to thank you for being receptive to allowing me to knock on your door.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you're just, and I think with you, Leanne, I don't know what it is, but I'm like eye to eye contact with you through the whole thing, and I'm listening. And you're the way you speak it because you've got such a passion for it. Like you want to listen and you want to learn and you want to know. And then all your books you have, like it's just, I think that just your passion for it makes it even better for someone like me to want to do it.
I'm so grateful
Yeah.
for you. So yeah, so maybe we can think about the chakra breathing. Do you remember that when we were breathing all the way up and
Oh
then
yeah.
merging?
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
intense. That was like
Yeah.
that was a full 30 minutes of breathing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. All of the breathings were intense. I don't
Yeah.
think there was a single one that wasn't intense, right? Because even the humming, even though it's easy, but
Yeah.
like it's you have to really focus and concentrate. But the after effect is like just so good. Came
Mm,
home like feeling so good.
And then
Uh,
the other thing, the gongs, like how the gongs and in methodologies where sound therapy can really work through seed sounds like lam bam ram yam hum om and the
yes,
seed sounds.
you on your Instagram you had that gentleman going through all of them. I was like,
Yeah.
I think I don't know how many
It's a
times I
reminder, yeah. So
looked at them.
that gentleman was another, he was a devotee and his same realizations being on the path of yoga. And it's so beautiful. It's like we don't even recognize when the ringing is happening within our ear, how that subtleness, if we catch it, just like a fragrance in the room, how we can connect to the divine, other than a prayer, other than an intention, other than a mindfulness, other than a statue or a thought about God, or even a holy book. Even just the sound of the buzzing within the ear can allow us to drop into that same alignment that the end of these meditations would do with a bell. And those bells were meant to do that. They're actually reattuning what they call the Nada Brahm, the Nad sound of the universe within us.
Mhm.
So it's miraculous how sound therapy can help
Oh,
us, um and then the beauty of the dance too. So when we did the dancing with da da da
yes, she had. Yeah, no, that
and
was that was really
clearing
good. Yeah.
energy in all the
Yes.
six directions and the
Yes.
whirling, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But I also feel that combining them intensifies a new student like yourself to have an experience to deepen both.
Mhm.
So they were complementary to like chapters in my life where I was like, well, that chapter, when I got this chapter, helped this chapter. I'm like, let's save people time,
Mhm.
with a rapid opening and a rapid ability. And what was interesting to me when I watched you at the end, when Kundalini was flowing in your body and you were aware of it, I'm like, that's the work. Because
Yeah.
people, that start to feel the subtleness will be aware as much as they practice to look within and feel the miraculousness of the silence and the energy flowing in them, not the overthinking, not the stress, not the survivor. Allow yourself to be a survivor, but at the same time, be aware of the bliss.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it was.
powerful. But I think about maybe in the last week when we're merging all the chakras. So think about sun salutations. Like you
Oh
really
yeah.
got into this flow. And I was watching you doing the yoga and I was like, she's got it.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
no, those are great. Those are great for your physique too. Every
So
muscle.
they're
Yeah.
helping you in the gym with your spin classes.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No. The yoga flow is it's great because you just keep going and you're doing it and you're doing it and you're going. And once you keep going and going and if you have the music or any type of sound to it, it just yeah, like you said, the flow, right? And
Mm,
even when you're doing the naughties and you're like, it feels so good.
mm. And getting
Everything
to know
felt
the
great.
naughties too, like, now that you know your naughties, now that
Mhm.
you know you have all these meridians moving through the body and like they're helping you heal, just like when you get your cut. Like, do you have anything to say about that? How that's feeling for you?
Sorry, what was that again? Yeah, go
Like
ahead.
the naughties, when we're talking
Yeah.
about all of those 72,000 naughties, and
Mhm.
then when we're doing the chakra breathing at the end, you could feel so much open
Oh,
and
but
like,
yes, yeah, and every breath you're taking is just different, and you're feeling open, and that's why at the end of it you're feeling so like right, like accomplished
yeah.
and relaxed, and I don't know how to explain it, but you just feel after the 2 hours or 2.5 whatever. Every time I left your place, I felt great.
Aw,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good. So
and then you think
friends,
about it,
I
right?
just wanted to make sure we get a little bit of one of my new besties, my soul sister, Val, and our memories together here recorded so that in the future, when she's teaching me somewhere, maybe in Bali,
Yes. Oh my God, wouldn't that be amazing?
we'll have fun in Italy.
Yes, gonna get there. We'll get there.
Mm. Yes, everything is happening and keep those beautiful intentions. I just want to say thank you so much for showing up for yourself. This is a
Thank
journey of
you.
self-love and utilizing tools that empower you to feel whole, even sometimes in the hardest times of life. And they do work. So, and you don't need the drugs, even though everybody will need a certain amount of drugs for whatever the universe has created for. But there are methods just like breath, just like
Yes.
yoga, and just like these dynamic works, mantra and sound therapy that are so powerful and
It,
profound.
I think it's different because I know you can use drugs to get out of this angst, but I think with me because it's my child, right? And to yeah, I could take a drug and I can make me feel, but it's artificial,
Mm,
right? Because his stuff is not going to go away. It's going to be there. Hopefully, it just gets better. But this breathing is about controlling how you react when he, like you said, when he has his. How are you going to react? Although I don't think I've done well with it, but I think about it, right? So it teaches you if he's having a rough day, it teaches you, okay, no, remember what Leanne says, even the breathing or whatever. It makes it's just your reaction is different. Because if you can change your reaction, if I can change my reaction to what's going on with him, it makes the whole what's going on in that situation at the time just different and in a good way because
mm,
my reaction isn't so like devastating. My reaction is no, okay, we're going to breathe. We're going to get through this. This is whatever. And then we're going to move on to the next thing. We're going to move on to the next 10 minutes. We're going to get past this. Right.
mm,
Because you don't have to react in
mm.
a bad way because that's not going to make it better. You can
Yeah.
react in a calm manner and still get through it. Because
Mm.
reacting in an angry or upset or whatever manner doesn't make it better. And that's what I always tell myself. It's yeah. So anyways, Leanne, you're amazing. And I highly recommend anybody who's going through anything, even if you're not, just to come see Leanne for this course. It's
You're so beautiful.
the
And I
best
just
8 weeks
want,
of your life.
yeah, no, I just know that you got a basement that's ready for a lot more yoga
Yes,
soon.
I can't wait. Yes. Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for showing up,
Thank you
audience,
so much.
be empowered and be blissful and many, many blessings to you and your family. And thank you for blessing my life also. It brought income into my life by teaching you and putting out in the world these tools and teaching and making income is a dream. It's a dream for me to live. So I thank you for being my student. And we'll see each other soon.
Yes, we will.
All right. Namaste. Thank you for showing up,
Okay.
Val.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.